you like people. Because if you don't, you're not going to like fame.
Right.
Okay? They keep thinking they're going to be famous and rich. And no. Do you like people?
Right.
Because they're going to be in your face and in your business with an opinion all the time.
Yeah.
Now, you want to go to a recital with your kid, and it's your kid's piano recital. I hope you like being famous. Because while your kid is playing the recital, the parents are going to be asking you for your autograph. Not the kids, the parents.
Yeah.
I made the mistake and decided I'll go to SeaWorld with my kid, and I'll go by myself on the parents' bus. You know who protected me on the whole trip?
Who?
The kids. My kid, Miles, said, okay, we got to protect my dad because the parents are coming. And everybody at SeaWorld showed up, and there's Lionel Richie at SeaWorld with his kid. So I had 4 little kids surround me and go, I said, guys, I'm with them. We're with the school, but I mean, it becomes, holy crap, what the hell's going on?
And it's annoying for them, too.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But you can't have that moment with your kids. And it's a big deal because at that time, ABC, NBC, CBS, and a new station just came out called CNN. Other than that, to see you, to have a sighting was like
different.
Come on, man.
Yeah, no one know. I couldn't imagine what it was like being famous when there's only 4 channels and the radio.
The Olympics, 2.5, 2.6 billion people watching live.
Wow.
So I went from Lionel Richie to Lionel Richie all night long. The end of my name became All Night Long. Lionel Richie all night long. Hey, that's Lionel Richie all night long. Every country in the world, I became Lionel Richie all night long.
Wow. What was that like, performing
There it is.
in front of that many humans? What was that feeling like? Was it different than a regular performance?
Joe, it felt like a regular performance, but I had never in my life had the world watching. So I rehearsed it. We did it, not realizing it was the world, literally the world watching. And go back and look at that little podium. What was supposed to happen at the beginning of this was Ronald Reagan was supposed to come out and had his speech. I know I speak on behalf of everyone in America and the entire world, how proud we are of these fine athletes. That was his speech, right? Because that night there were death threats, they decided it's too risky to have him on the field. Lionel, would you give the speech on behalf of all of America and the entire world? Stop me where I am.
Oh my God.
So before I started singing, I had to make my speech. I know how proud we are here in America and around the world of these fine athletes. And now we're going to sing all night long. But I had to give this thing.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, that was the proud moment after I came off stage. Before I went on stage was, well, Mr. Reagan's worried about his life. What about mine? What's going to happen here? But it was so overwhelmingly, you're talking about energy and adrenaline, and you can't beat 2.6 billion people live. And you think Super Bowl was something special? I'll tell you what this was. There was not another channel covering anything. The whole world was watching this.
That's hard for people to imagine in this day of content.
Exactly right.
That will never happen again. Unless it's the aliens are landing Monday at 8 a.m.
Exactly correct.
That's the one where the aliens landed.
Oh, that fake
You're
UFO?
right. Right. And by the way, that's what happened. That was the opening. But what you don't see there, that was the opening. That's very good, man. I hadn't seen this clip. What was happening with that was, just before it started, they sealed off the airspace. And I remember looking out. There were 4 helicopters facing out. And the problem was you couldn't hear them, Joe. And I kept thinking, I'm looking at helicopters, and I said, what's that right there? And they said, they sealed off the airspace.
Whoa.
Nothing's coming into this place. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wait a minute, you couldn't hear the helicopters that were holding up the flying saucer?
I couldn't hear a thing.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
That's what's scary.
That's what I'm saying
creepy
to
military Area 51 ship. that can fly a
Listen,
helicopter
you
with
understand
no
what I'm
noise.
saying? And the answer to me was, okay. See, I mean,
the alien guy comes out.
you understand me at this point?
This is 1984.
Yeah. And Howard K. Smith, remember the sports announcer? I think was it Howard K. Smith?
Howard Cosell?
Howard. He was with
Howard K. Smith.
He was with Wide World of Sports.
Oh, okay.
And he kept saying, this is going to be an amazing night for you. And I said, yeah, okay, not knowing what this was going to be. And there was a kid that was backstage, and he said, oh my God, this is going to be the biggest night ever. You know what that kid was? Cuba Gooding Jr.
Wow.
He was one of the dancers.
Wow.
And from that moment on, I kept thinking, what's going to happen? I said, here's what I want you to do. They're not looking at me. Your parents are looking for you. So get a signal. Give them something where you wave your hand so they'll know that that's you. But the truth of that was one of those interesting moments in time where the world was watching and it was no other way to happen. I woke up the next morning, drove down the street. I could be 5 cars back from the traffic light. And somebody passed me and go, hey, Lionel Richie all night long. Lionel Richie all night long. Hey, it's Lionel Richie all night long. Oh, God, what just happened?
Did you get your windows tinted?
I got everything tinted, babe. I was wearing tints. What you talking about?
That might be the biggest audience anyone has ever performed for ever, if you think about it.
Without dying, of course. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know what that was, but it freaked me out because I went from slightly invisible to fully visible. Anywhere. My friend got married. I kept saying to him, you don't want me at your wedding. He said, no, you have to come to the wedding. I said, you don't want me at your wedding. Here's what happened. I decided to go. There he is walking down the aisle. There he is saying I do. And there he is walking out with his lovely bride. Every other picture after that is his mother-in-law with me, his family with me. He's no longer in the wedding.
Right.
Every picture was me in his wedding book. And I said, you don't want me at your funeral. Nobody's going to ever know you left. It's not going to happen.
What was that like for you, like psychologically, that giant shift? Was that hard to manage?
Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
For the first couple of 10 years, you got to get used to this. I mean, and also you have to understand it becomes an annoyance to your friends. Mm-hmm. Hey, Lionel, let's go down to the bar and get a drink. Very simple. That's all. You've been doing that for the whole life.
Right.
No. You go down to the bar turns around.
Yeah.
No. So now your friends become security officers.
Right.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is not cool.
Right.
And so it becomes a little bit of a hassle. So if you want to have your friends, you either have to bring them up to your hotel thing or you bring them over to the house.
Right.
There's no hanging out.
Right.
It's not going to happen that way. And you get used to it over time.
Did it fuck with you psychologically?
Hell yeah. Are you kidding me, man? I mean,
because a person relies on the perspective that they get from interacting with people. If the majority of your interactions are bizarre.
And then finally, one day, you say, okay, you walk into the room, prepare to talk to the room.
Right. Just accept that this is what it is.
Muhammad Ali said it correctly. We had lunch one afternoon in New York, and it's time for it to be over. And as we were having lunch, there are people coming up to the glass looking in. Oh, there's Muhammad, there's Muhammad, there's Lionel, there's Muhammad, there's Lionel, Muhammad. Okay, it's time for us to go. Mm-hmm. And my security had me, and I'm ready to go. I said, "Where's your security, Muhammad?" He said, "I don't need any security." I said, "What do you mean you don't need security?" I said, "There's tons of people out there." He said, No. They'll take care of me." And he walks out the door, and everybody was going, get back. It's Muhammad. In other words, you neutralize the room. You can either make it a frenzy,
Yeah.
or you can, that's what Michael, God bless him, he couldn't get that in his head. But he couldn't, even if he tried to do that. His whole persona was the frenzy.
Yes.
He has to have the frenzy, otherwise that's not Michael.
Right.
So I just kind of got to the point where you go into that Zen mode, and how do I get across the airport? It's only one way. You got to walk across the airport.
Well, the difference in you and Michael, though, is like you had a normal life
Yeah.
for a long time,
Yeah.
and then became an artist, and then
I knew how to
became-
navigate it.
You got a slow drip in the initial days.
He had the explosion.
The explosion that he got was like I said, unlike anything anybody had ever seen before. I can't imagine how he could diffuse a crowd. Like, it's not even possible. They would
never,
just swarm him.
Never was going to happen.
No.
Never.
The thing about Muhammad Ali, too, is like one of the rare people that was loved by almost all humans.
Absolutely.
Especially after everyone realized he was right about the Vietnam War.
Of course.
And then he returns 3 years later, and then, he makes his way to the title again. And then he was so loved. He was so loved.
And a beautiful person. I mean, and again, trauma. I mean, when you see him out in public, he was Mr. Showbiz. But he was carrying a lot. He was carrying his belief. He was carrying his growth, losing the family, gaining another family, still being the icon. I mean, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to win? Is he going to lose? With me, I just got to sing all night long again.
Right.
But him, he's got to win again.
And he knows he's starting to get brain damage.
There we go.
He knows it.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts
No,
about
no.
it. By the time he gets past Frazier in the first fight, and then Foreman, just the Foreman fight alone, Ernie Shavers.
Every hit. Every hit.
And then later in his career, it gets sad.
Yeah.
It's just like there's very few people that transcend whatever sport they are and become like one of the key features of culture.
Yeah. He was magical. But for me, he was the hero.
Yeah.
Because this is a guy who found his freedom. When you can walk out and go, I'm going to speak my truth, and I don't care. Now, this is back in the days when Hoover was Hoover, and the investigations were the investigations. That's heavy, man. I mean, this is life and death situations. And for him to accept his role as the educator and also the beacon of hope, when I got that in my book, when that man came up to me and said, "You must survive because you're our beacon of hope."
Wow.
There's a moment in time when you realize there is a responsibility here. And whether you wanted to be the teacher or not, there are folks looking at you besides the folks in Tuskegee.
Yeah, and you've got something to share, and that something is very valuable. When someone can hear wise words from someone they love and respect, it'll shift your perspective in life, and that's such a gift that you could give people.
But it doesn't come. I keep trying to tell people every day, it doesn't come with the word flawless.
Of course,
it comes with flaws. How did you learn that? You put your foot in the shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you understand? How do you know that?
Yeah.
And the only way to know it, the only way to understand it, what you don't want to do is have someone describe to you life because they read it.
Right.
I want to know about life that you lived it.
Right.
Now, that's the person I'm taking my advice from.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like someone teaching you music that's never written a song.
There you
that's
go.
crazy.
Exactly.
Unless they're Rick Rubin.
Unless they're Rick Rubin.
That weird
and by the
motherfucker.
way, you said that's a strange brother, boy.
That dude's out there.
I mean, I got chills when you called his name. No, man, and can hear.
He's the real deal. That's the real deal.
So love him.
He's the real deal. That's a real eccentric.
That's a real.
It's a real eccentric.
I went to Rick's house one day and I said, "Oh man, this is gonna be great." He's out by the beach. We walked in, And he said, sit right over there. Rick, it's only one beanbag chair on the floor. That's it. That's the whole living room. And I said, where's the living room? or there's the terrace off of his bedroom. Great. Yeah. He has the doors. The doors open off onto his terrace.
Yeah.
They forgot to put the terrace out there. So open windows. That's it. There's no terrace.
I think that's what he wants.
That's exactly what he wants.
He wants things off.
But I love him. You're right.
He's such a genius.
I love him.
I love him to death.
Oh, God.
He sends me the wackiest texts, too. Oof.
Well, he ain't going to change.
He goes down rabbit holes. Woo. But he's awesome. But there's people like him, right, that just have some special gift of, they just hear things.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. In life, if you have a chance to be around someone that's authentic unto themselves, and at the same time, they're receiving. It's not just songwriting.
Right.
You know, there are people who are receiving messages and you go, do me a favor, just sit down and tell me the story.
Well, authors all talk about that.
I love. I mean, for example, every time I go to Atlanta, Georgia, who's backstage? Greatest fan, greatest mentor ever, Andy Young.
Oh.
Okay. Did he see it? He saw it all. Did he miss anything? Nothing. And he sits back there. I've sometimes been 15, 20 minutes late to go on stage. Why? Keep talking. Keep talking, Andy. You follow me?
Yeah.
And he's just spewing the message. And again, the answer becomes, how do you feel about where we are now? I'm optimistic. Wow. That's really heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I just sit as a student. And that's what happens in life. If you have a chance, who comes backstage to my shows? Everybody. And they sit there and I have a chance to find out, Now, they say you're this person. And the answer is, no, they're not. Everybody has a front
Right.
and a back.
Especially a public narrative.
You understand?
If you don't know them personally.
You don't know them personally. And so
Yeah.
with me, I have found the greatest parts in the world of this whole story is that they come as fans, everybody. And that's the part that really makes me feel really great about traveling around the world. Because it gives, remember now, I know the world